We are about to begin the Veterans History Project interview. My name is Anthony Kierna. I am the genealogy coordinator of the Schaumburg Township District Library in Schaumburg, Illinois. I will be interviewing Frank Doroba, United States Navy, World War II veteran, regarding his military service. Today's date is May the 19th, 2021. The interview is being conducted in the home of Frank in Cary, Illinois. Also present in the room is Neil O'Brien, a Vietnam veteran, and his wife Patricia O'Brien. Both Neil and Patricia are friends of Frank and have helped greatly to set this interview up. Additionally, Neil and Pat are my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Also present in the room is Harry Van Beets, a friend of Frank. Frank, thank you for participating in the Veterans History Project. Thank you for your military service. It is a privilege and an honor to be able to conduct this interview with you. So let's get started right at the beginning. When were you born? What year were you born, Frank?
1921.
Okay. And that is a special year, I take it, because you've actually hit the magic 100 number. Congratulations to that.
Yeah.
So again, it's an extra special privilege to be able to talk to you today. Where were you born?
Chicago.
Okay. And how about your parents? What were their names?
John and Sophie.
Okay. And where were they? Were they from the United States, or did they come from another country?
They came from Poland.
Okay. And can you tell me your siblings? Did you have brothers and sisters?
4 brothers and 4 sisters.
Wow. And what order of the brothers and sisters were you? Were you the early born or last born?
I was the baby.
Okay. All right. And where did you guys live in Chicago?
1301 Erie Street.
Okay.
On the northwest side.
Okay. Did you live there pretty much all your life as growing up, or did your parents move?
We moved.
Okay. And where did you move to or from?
944 North Damon.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good to know. And where did you go to grammar school?
Columbus Grammar School.
And that's in Chicago?
In Chicago. On
Okay.
Levitt. It's on Augusta Boulevard between Hoyne and Levitt.
Okay. All right. And how about high school? Where did you go for high school?
I went to Washburn Trade.
Oh, okay.
On Division in Sedgwick. That's where they were
Okay.
at that time.
And even in high school, what were some of your interests? What did you like to do?
I like mechanical drawing. That's what I took up.
Okay. Did you save any of your drawings from way back when?
No.
Okay. Because sometimes a lot of that stuff we carry with us is just memorabilia.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. How about college? Did you have the chance to get to college?
No.
Okay.
Because of the war.
Okay. And so at this point in time, we still weren't at war, I think, at this point while you were going through high school and that through Washburn. What was it sort of like at that time? Were you hearing a lot of stuff about the potential of war?
No, we never heard anything about it.
Okay. And so when we finally entered the war, Pearl Harbor, and that's so often remembered by so many people, where were you when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
I was living on Augusta Boulevard at that time. 2236 West Augusta. And when the war broke out, no, I'm a liar. I did live on Augusta, and then from there we went on Walton Street.
Okay.
2454 West Walton.
Okay.
In Chicago. And that's when the war broke out in 1942.
Okay. And did you hear about the Pearl Harbor through the radio, through the newspapers? How did you hear about it?
I heard it from the radio. It came on the radio first, then it came on the newspaper.
And what was your feeling when you heard it? What did you think was going to happen?
I said, I went and met my friends, and I said, uh-oh, we're all going to be drafted.
Okay. And so is that what ultimately happened? Did you get drafted?
I was going to be drafted, but I enlisted in the Navy.
Okay. And did you go to enlist in the Navy in the city of Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to Great Lakes.
Okay. All right.
That's where they drafted me. They were going to draft me, but I joined the Navy.
Okay.
Because otherwise they'd have put me in the Army.
Okay.
And I didn't want to go in the Army.
How about in your family? Did you have, among your other brothers and sisters, were they involved in the military?
Peter was in the Navy. Peter joined the Navy. Albert was drafted. They put him in the infantry. He's the one that told me, don't join the Army.
Okay. Was that good advice?
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay. And so were you and your siblings who were in the military, were you all serving at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said, where did you go for training? You went to where?
I went to Camp Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay.
That's where they sent us.
And at that point, did you have the choice to try and take a job or a skill that they were going to train you in, or did they assign you to something?
No, we were in the Navy. You couldn't do nothing. They told us what to do, and we did what they told us to do.
Okay, all right.
I was in boot camp there.
Do you remember how long you were in boot camp, in training?
Well, it's got to be 6 months
Okay.
before they shipped you overseas.
Okay. And did you have an idea what was going to happen, like what ship you were going to be assigned to?
I didn't know nothing about nothing.
Okay. So during the time you were training then, what was the skill that they were training you for?
I had a rifle with they called it a BAR.
Oh, okay.
Took 2 men to carry that thing.
Okay. I've seen pictures of that. I think it stands for Browning Automatic
Right.
Rifle.
Right.
Okay.
It was a big gun. But hey, we had to take that gun apart, put it together at night.
And did you do it okay?
Well, yeah. Passed inspection.
What did your parents think of you joining the military as well as your other siblings?
Well, my father was dead already, all right? My mother, she was all alone. So I sent her a check every month. The government sent her a check every month.
Okay.
And like I said, we were in boot camp. I learned how to shoot the rifle. And then from there, we went to California.
Okay.
Embarkation. Where the hell? We went to
Did you go to-
Treasure Island.
Okay. And did you know where they were going to ship you off to? So you just needed to get to the ship.
When they shipped us to California, they gave us a leave.
Okay.
A couple of days off. And then they shipped us overseas on the USS America.
All right.
It was a big ship. At one time, it was a luxury liner. But it was still a luxury liner because they didn't take no apartments apart, you know, to convert them into true ship.
Okay.
They put us down in what do you call them? Staterooms, like.
Yeah. Oh,
They had a
okay.
theater, a gym. They had everything on there, and there were 10,000 men on that ship.
Wow. That's a lot.
And how?
That's a lot.
They had the Army, Navy, the Marines. All three different kinds of fellas that were in the service.
Okay.
We were all going overseas, but we didn't know where we were going. When we went, who else can we talk to?
Yeah. When you took leave before you got on the ship, were you able to come back home?
No. No.
So you took leave over there. How about friends? Did you establish a lot of friends that were people
in
from
the service? In the service, I had friends.
Were there a lot of people who you grew up with in the neighborhoods who also joined with you?
No.
Okay.
I was alone.
Okay.
Now, I joined the Navy, but they put me in the Seabees.
All right.
All right? That's construction battalion.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. There's nothing I can do. They got the upper hand.
Well, were you happy with being in the Seabees?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good life.
All right.
You got 3 square meals. When I was overseas now, I'm not talking aboard ship. Aboard ship, you only had 2 meals a day. And you wore Mae West all the time you were aboard that ship. You know what a Mae West was?
It's a vest, right? A life jacket.
A life preserver. Everybody wore one.
Okay.
So when we got to New Caledonia, looking through the porthole, 2 Navy bombers, one on this side and one on this side, came out of the sky, and they came alongside the ship and came down close enough. Everybody's seen it, and they tilted their wings to let them know who they are.
Yeah, like a friendly sign.
Right, that's a sign that they were Americans.
Wow, that was good to know. So when you were going on the ship, so obviously going to New Caledonia, were you in like a big armada of ships? Were there all kinds of ships going together at the same time to the same location?
No.
So it was just your ship, the U.S. America?
Right.
Okay. So when you got to New Caledonia, what did you have to do at that point?
Well, when we got to New Caledonia, they assigned me to outfit another construction battalion, and then we unloaded the ships. So they asked the fellas, what they call them, the docksmen, and they had, the ship that we were unloading was all full of dynamite.
Wow.
And they asked for volunteers. So I volunteered.
Oh, boy.
I got extra money. That's the reason I volunteered.
Did it help by you being in the Seabees? Did it help because you knew more what to do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I was only 20 years old. What do you know at 20? We didn't, in geography, we didn't have nothing about the world.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about Africa or New Guinea or Guadalcanal. I never knew nothing about that until I was in the Seabees.
Okay. How long were you in New Caledonia?
At least 6 months, and then we were shipped out.
And where did you get shipped out to?
Oh, then we went to the New Hebrides.
Oh, okay.
Them are islands out in the South Pacific.
Right, right.
I don't know, beans from China.
Were you still on the same ship, the U.S.
No,
America?
we were off the ship. Then we went on a Liberty ship,
okay.
USS Salino. And that ship didn't have no portholes.
Okay.
That was a troop ship, and when you went down in that hole, they had bunks, one on top of each other.
I think from movies I've seen that, like 3 or 4 people stacked up like that. Which one were you on?
Well,
The tall, way up high?
No. I was about the second guy up.
Okay.
And them ships, had no air conditioning. Like on the luxury liner, it had air.
Yeah. See, you went from being on a luxury cruise ship to being on like a real low class ship.
Oh yeah. Hey, when you went down that hole, that was about 5 stories down. And we had the Army with us too on that ship, because they were, I don't know where they were going, but they were on that ship too.
So you were part of the Seabees, so your unit was on the ship,
right.
and also the Army personnel were on the ship
Right, they were
too.
on there too. I don't ask me what outfit they were or anything like that, because I didn't know, because we never associated with them. The only time you met them in the chow line.
Okay.
Because they were right behind you or back of you or anything.
So how was the food?
Huh?
How was the food?
Well, we all had to stand and eat. We didn't sit. We stood up by the tables.
Wow.
Hey, and the ship
Was it because it was so crowded? There were so many men on board?
Oh yeah, there wasn't a pleasure cruise.
Okay.
It was a cruise ship. So anyway, when you sit standing there and the ship is going, whatever you got here,
Yeah.
you know, to go there, everything went that way. You had a whole...
Oh, let me ask you this, Frank. Was that the very first time you were out like on the oceans?
Well, that's...
When you went there?
Well, I was on the luxury line.
Right.
I knew that's the first time I've been on a ship.
Okay, but how about, did you get seasick?
No.
Oh, you're pretty good then.
No, I never slept in a hole on that ship, on the USS. I slept topside.
Okay. And why did you do that?
It was cooler.
Okay. Were you allowed to do that? People could just
Sure.
go where they could get
You
more
weren't allowed
comfort?
to smoke or anything. The lamp, the lighting is out. You couldn't smoke because of the Japanese subs were in them waters.
Okay. But did you have any other like transport ships that were protecting you guys? Like destroyers?
Not that we know of.
Okay.
Not that we know of.
Okay.
We went to Guadalcanal.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Frank. You were in the Seabees. Do you know what the unit was, the regiment, or how they called the Seabee unit you were in?
Sure.
What was it called?
82nd Construction Battalion Seabees.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
So was Guadalcanal one of the first islands that you were to go do the work you needed to do there?
Yes.
And so what did you have to wind up doing there?
We went Henderson Field. The Japanese were there, and they bombed the airstrip. So we went there, we repaired that airstrip so the planes could come in there and land and be closer to Japan.
Okay.
But any time the Japs would leave an island, they would bomb it,
Okay.
destroy it. And we were the ones that would go there and repair it.
So when you were doing that repair, were the Japanese on the island, or,
Oh, yeah.
or had they already left?
They were still there.
Okay. So you were always exposed to danger out there.
Well, we all were. That was war.
And what, when you were doing the airstrip repair, what was the job that you were assigned to do? What equipment were you working with?
Well, you volunteered. If you wanted to be anything you wanted to be, you could have been a bulldoze operator, but when you're aboard ship, you had to take what they gave you. Mm-hmm. So when I was aboard that ship, I volunteered for KP.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I got fresh water showers, fresh milk. Where the other guys that were in the regular service, they got powdered milk, powdered eggs, salt water showers. I got fresh water. I worked 1 day on, 2 days off.
So when you did the work on the island and you were done for the day, you went back onto the ship then?
No. We had
you just stayed there?
We had our own camp.
Okay.
We built our own camp on the island.
Okay. So when you were there and after you fixed the airstrip, did the Japanese come back and like bomb it again, and you were constantly fixing it and they would come back and bomb it?
We had rifles with us, okay, and a machete, a big knife about this big, they call it, because that was all jungle.
Yeah.
That wasn't like it is today. So the machete was to cut all the bushes down, make a path, and then the Marines were in there first, and we went in after the Marines.
Okay.
The 1st Marine Division.
Was it hot out there?
Hot and humid.
Like islands are supposed to be, I guess, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, you see them shorts he's got? That's what they wore.
Okay. When you were there, what did you do for like recreation or fun?
Well, they play baseball.
Were you a ball player?
No, I wasn't a ball player. I was on KP all the time.
Okay. Did you play ball when you were in Chicago growing up?
Oh yeah. Play football. We played touch tackle.
Okay.
It was a different than when the guy caught the ball. You didn't tackle him, you touched him.
I know. I'm laughing because I played that exact game.
You did that too,
I did, yes.
All right, now you know. I'm not lying because
I know.
That's what we did. In baseball, we had, on Columbus School, they had a baseball field there. Levitt and Oakley. Well, right on, Levitt is here, and the baseball diamond is from here to here.
Okay.
So
but back on Guadalcanal, you had to have some time where you had some fun. You couldn't have been on KP duty all the time, right?
Well, I don't know what fun was in them days.
Did you write letters to your family back home when you were there?
I wrote my mother every day. You want to know something?
Sure.
She kept all my letters.
Wow. Do you have them?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
That is really. Now how often did you write? Every day?
Well, anytime we could, you know.
Okay.
It ain't like in the States you can write every day.
Okay.
Hey, you couldn't have a radio, you couldn't have anything, electric shaver, anything like that, because the Japs would pick it up somehow.
Okay. All right. So you're on Guadalcanal. For how long were you at Guadalcanal?
Well, we repaired the field. Once we repaired the field, they shipped us out again.
And where was the next place you went to,
man.
if you can remember? Or any of the places?
I'd have to take the book out and look at it.
Okay.
I got a book.
Okay.
They call it a yearbook.
Okay.
And it tells you all the campaigns, all the islands we went to.
But it sounds like you went to quite a few number
we
of
did.
islands. And so as the troops were moving towards Japan, they were going island to island, getting closer to Japan. You were there with them, doing all the repairs on all the places where they needed to be and stuff.
Yes, we did.
Was it mainly always the airfields that you were working on?
Well, we built Quonset huts
For the troops?
for the officers.
Oh, okay. I guess they got special treatment.
The troops got a tent
Okay.
with 5 guys in it. Well, it was above the ground anyway. It wasn't like the Army.
Yeah.
It was down to the ground.
Okay.
But in the Navy, you were above the ground.
Okay.
We had our own showers. We had after we settled, we had our own shower. We had our own laundry. Yeah. And what else did we have? We even built a theater
Oh, okay.
on Okinawa. When we hit Okinawa, we secured it and all that. After it was all secured,
Yeah.
we built a theater on there.
Okay. So as you're getting closer to Japan, did you get like to Okinawa?
The first Marine went in, and then we followed them. We went and we invaded Naha.
Okay.
That's the capital.
Okay.
The Marines went in first, and we went in after them.
Okay.
And on Okinawa. I was there when they dropped the bomb.
Wow. How did you hear about that?
From our officers.
Okay.
They told us to go into foxholes. We weren't above the ground. We were in foxholes, and they gave us sunglasses. Put over our...
Yeah.
And told us not to look into the sky.
Okay.
But they gave us the sunglasses because of the rays from the bomb when they dropped that bomb. Because when they dropped that bomb, you could feel the concussion.
Okay.
When it came over. And a friend that I was with, Wagner, his name was, he was crying. I said, "What are you crying for?" Oh, he said, "You know, I got a wife and 2 kids at home." He said, "I'm so scared." I said, "So am I." I says, "Well, what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
We're here together, in the foxhole together." Wagner, I remember how he cried.
Did you have any close calls when you were out there?
Well, sure we did. All the time.
Can you give me any idea what happened? What would be a close call for you?
Well, we were in the foxholes, and they were shooting at us. They come at night. The Japanese, they would, in order for them to find the island, they dropped a little parachutes with a candlelight in it.
Okay.
So they would know where the island is.
Okay.
Because they were just dropping it out of the blue sky.
Okay.
Because they didn't know where the island was.
All right. So the war was actually going to be coming to an end because of the bombs that they dropped in Japan. And you were still at Okinawa when that happened, and so when the bombs dropped, you guys must have been happy because they soon surrendered after that.
Well, they did surrender, but we stayed there at least 6 months before we came home.
Okay.
Because we secured the island. Like I said, we built the theater for the GIs. We built that laundry. We built a lot of things.
Okay. So when did you find out that you were going to come home?
Because I was in there 2 years. Now people fellas were longer than me. They stayed because they went according to the points. I don't know what the points were, but you had to have so many points to go home.
Okay.
So I had enough points, so I was one of the guys to go home. And the other guy was Neil Dowler. He was with me. He came home with me.
Okay. So your whole unit didn't come back. It was
Oh, no,
individual sailors that came back.
No, just part of it. You had to have the points in order to come home.
Okay.
They call them points. I don't know what it was, but I had enough because of my mother. And seeing Neil, he had his wife and kids, so he had enough points too.
Okay.
The more kids
That's okay. We're a friendly group here today.
Okay, I know.
No, it's okay.
No.
So when you were coming back home, did you come back home also on a ship?
Yeah.
Or did you fly back?
On the USS United States. One was U.S.
America.
American, the other one was United States. Another big luxury liner.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands.
So for you, leaving was luxury, coming home was luxury, but everything in between was pretty bad.
Right. It was, you know, it was, when we were on Okinawa, we had it good. We built our own water filtration plant.
Okay.
And we left all of that when we left Okinawa.
Okay. Were you sending, did you know where your siblings were stationed when they were in the service? Were you able to write to them?
Only one fella, when I was stationed in New Caledonia, I got, they paged me on the PA system. Now we secured that island, New Caledonia at that time. Mm-hmm. We built a big dock, loading dock.
Okay.
In the town of Berea, okay? That's for the ships to come in and unload. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't have no place to dock their ship. So we built a great long goddamn dock.
Okay.
Day and night they worked, we worked. They had a pile driver, you know. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
They piled in the piles in the water.
So your jobs were never done. You always had some big construction projects that you had to do.
We always had work.
Okay. So when you're coming back to the United States on that luxury liner, where did you come back to? On the west coast of the U.S.?
No, we came back in California again.
Okay. And when you got to California, did you end your service there, or did you still have time to serve?
No, I had to go to, they shipped us to Great Lakes for a discharge.
Okay. And so at least because Great Lakes is right in our area here, you were close to home. And so when you got discharged, did you just head back by your parents?
Oh yeah. Took the north, they called it the North Shore at that time. Got on the North Shore, I went up, it took me right to Franklin and Chicago Avenue, got off the goddamn elevator, it was an elevator.
Okay.
Got off, got on the streetcar, went home. With my sea bag and my foot locker.
Okay.
I had a handle on it, wooden one, I made it. I still got it.
Wow, no kidding. Well, see, that's what a CB does. You guys make stuff that lasts forever.
And we still do. Whoever's in the CBs, they still do it. Well, I told Pat, this Saturday, they're going to have the Fighting Seabees. Did you ever see that movie?
I did. I have seen it.
All right. Well, now it's coming back.
Okay. I know, that's with John Wayne.
Right. Hey, but it wasn't like that when we were in it.
I know. So when you came back to Chicago, how was it for you to readjust to life in Chicago being out of the service?
Well, my job was still there.
What was the job?
I was an engraver, pantographic engraver.
What was that, the name of the company? What was the name of the company?
No, the company's name was Infilco, INFILCO.
Okay.
Infilco meant International Filter Company. That's what it was. It made filters for water to filter.
Okay.
They got them here, over there at Navy Pier, the big filter plant.
Oh yeah, out in the lake that they got there.
Them were the things that we built so they can purify the water.
Okay, so when you come back, it was an easy transition for you to readjust back to civilian life?
Well, no, I had my job as an engraver. I stayed home maybe 3 weeks, and my boss says, when you coming back to work? He said, we need you, you know, and I said, Jesus Christ, everybody's getting a month off and here me 3 weeks. Well, I went back to work,
Okay.
and no qualms.
How did you get to be an engraver?
My brother showed me how.
Was it any part of the training that you got at Washburn?
No,
Okay.
I worked for a company, they call it Chicago Apparatus, and my brother was a foreman there, and during the wartime, my brother showed me this engraving machine that they had, and he says, come on, I'll show you how to operate it. So I watched him. He showed me how to sharpen my tools, and I stayed with the company a year, and then the company, another company called me up, and they needed an engraver.
Okay.
Oh, and Philco called me, yeah.
Okay.
And they asked me if I want to come back as an engraver for more money. I said, oh, that's for sure. So I went back to Philco. I stayed with them 20 years. But I graduated being an engraver. I told my boss, Tregellis, I would like to be a machinist. He said, well, you got to go to school for that. You got to serve your apprenticeship. I says, I'm going to do that. And that's what I did. I served my 3 years apprenticeship. I become a machinist.
Okay.
I did everything, drill press, shaper.
Was that any of the skills you had learned as being in the CBs?
No, that was not my...
So you had a lot of skills from the CBs, and then you added even more skills
Well,
that you had developed.
when I came out of the CBs, I was only, while I was overseas there, I was a seaman first class.
Okay.
So now they're sending us out. I took the trade of being a, oh, I forget what the name of it. Well, anyway, the chief petty officer says, Frank, we're going to give you a rating. Because, oh, we were building hangars, airplane hangars on Okinawa.
Did you think of staying in the Navy longer?
Oh yeah, but I couldn't. I couldn't because my mother
Oh, okay.
was a widow.
Okay. And did all your brothers come back? Everything was good when they got
Well,
discharged?
My brother Albert came home. My brother Peter came home, but he got a medical discharge
Okay.
because he was on a destroyer escort, and in the Pacific, they hit 2 mines, got great big holes on the side of the ship. They had to be towed into Pearl Harbor because the mechanical didn't work.
Okay.
So they towed in, that's what he told me. And all the people that were aboard that ship, in the holes and everything, they stayed in that hole because they had to lock all the heads, they had to lock them and keep them in there.
Okay.
Otherwise the ship would sink if they opened them doors.
Okay. All right.
They call them, what the hell they call them? What do they call them?
That I'm not sure. I don't know if I know that.
I know the name, but it'll come to me. Anyway, he got a medical discharge.
Okay. So were you guys still living in Chicago at that same place when you left for the service?
Yeah, when I came home, I went back on Walton Street where my mother was.
Okay.
And my brother was already home. He was in an infantry. He was in Europe. He was under Patton, General Patton.
Okay.
He was in that war.
Okay. When you came back, did you have the opportunity to take advantage of what they created as that GI Bill to
Yes,
go for further schooling?
I could have gone, but like I say, they talked me out of it. My brother-in-law, Ned, he says, who's going to take care of Ma?
Oh.
Okay, I says, all right, I'll go back to work, and that's what I did.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry I didn't take the GI Bill, because I'd have been maybe a little smarter than I am today.
I think you're pretty good, Frank.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things I'm missing,
Okay.
but I can't help it.
Okay.
It's, I ain't got no qualms. I ain't got nothing,
Okay.
you know.
So what were some of the things you started doing for fun now that you were home? What did you like hobbies? Did you have any hobbies?
Going out with girls.
Well, tell us that.
We always had a party.
You did?
All the time. We ran, the fellas that I was with, Johnny, Eddie, Tommy, Chester, Ripper, Melvin, the Russian, and me. We would rent a hall. We would pitch in $5 each guy. We'd buy the liquor and the food, and we would invite all these people to come, and we would charge them $5 to come in.
Okay.
Somebody's got to pay for the food and that.
And were all of these friends of yours, were most of them in the service
They
at
were
the
all,
time?
all
or were
in
they
the
just
service.
Okay.
Every one of them guys I taught, they were all in the service.
But in different branches. They weren't all part of the Seabees, were they?
No, no, no. They were all Army. Let's see, there was, all them guys I mentioned, they were all Army. My one cousin, Hank, he was only in the Navy. And me and him, we were both Navy. Them were the only two guys. And the other guys, 5, 6 guys, they were all in the Army. Oh, one was in the Marines.
Okay.
Melvin. Melvin was in the Marines, right.
Okay. So tell us about any dating that you did. Did you do dating with all your female friends when you got back
we
here?
all enjoyed ourselves.
Good.
All clean. And there's one lady still living. She's 90-something years old.
Really?
Of course, she lives in Schaumburg.
No kidding.
You know where the Lancer and Schaumburg is? The subdivision. That's, they call it the Lancer.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know the exact location.
Well, if you take Schaumburg Road, going, let's see, when you're going down Barrington Road, you come Schaumburg Road, make a left-hand turn, and that takes you, that's going east,
Okay,
isn't it?
yes it is.
Okay, and that's way at the end.
I'm going to look it up when I get back to work.
Way at the end is the Lancers,
Okay,
the subdivision.
all right.
Well, Tommy, the friend of mine that I grew up with, we were buddies. Him and I, we'd go to shows together and everything. He married Irene, and when they got married, that's where they moved to the Lancers out there.
Okay, all right.
And she's still there, but he died.
Okay,
He died 20-some years ago already.
okay. So again, what were some of the things that other things you did for fun? Did you have hobbies? Did you like to go to the movies?
I was a stamp collector and
Really?
a coin collector.
Okay.
But before that, when I was going in the service, I gave everything to my nephew. You know, I said, well, if I don't come back, it's yours.
Okay.
But I came back. When I came back, I asked him where. He says, Uncle, I gave it away.
Oh, well now why, what did he tell you the reason for that?
Because it was his cousin. He went to Denver. And,
Okay.
And then I didn't know the people in Denver from Adam.
Okay.
And when he told me that, everything that I gave, the stamp collection and the coin, everything he gave.
Okay.
But what are you going to do? I can't.
During that time when you were back home, did you join any of the veterans organizations? No. American Legion, or I don't even know if there was a specific one for the Navy.
Did,
no? Okay.
I joined the American Legion when I was overseas. They asked us whoever would want to do that. That was it.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened to that.
Okay. How about any reunions? Was there any reunion for the CB unit that you were in?
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to any?
No.
No?
Couldn't afford it.
But you were aware that they were doing them?
Oh, they send me invites.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But I couldn't, I think, I still got the invite letter someplace, you know, asking me to come for a reunion.
Okay. So how did you wind up here in Cary? How long have you been here?
54 years. 1964 we bought.
So before that you were living in Chicago yet, and then the move was to come out here?
No, I was living in Antioch.
Oh, Antioch.
While I was...
Wow.
The company I worked for, Major, his name is, they made lighting equipment, and they were in Chicago.
Okay.
And they hired me as an engraver, because nobody knew how to engrave.
Okay.
Oh, they all engraved, but they engineers,
Yeah.
draftsmen.
Yeah. Okay.
So when the guys engraved anything, what he would do, say he engraved all of this,
Yeah.
they take his hand and they go like this. And it left the
Okay.
blur on there.
Okay.
Okay? So when they hired me, I did what, see, I was a machinist, I knew how to sharpen my tools. They didn't know that. All they did, when they got the tool, it came to a point from the company that they bought the tool from, and that's what they use. Hey, you don't do that. You've got to take that point off.
Okay.
But they didn't know that, but I knew it. And when I engraved that plaque,
Okay. It was smooth.
and the boss said to me, how did you do that? He said, you know, we had engineers and draftsmen, and they couldn't do it. And how did you do it?
Wow. Well, no, you were good because you had such skills.
I had the
That was,
experience.
yes.
All right, that was in 1960.
Okay.
So, okay, and then they hired me right away that day. I went there at 2:30. The guy said to me, oh, he went across the street by the president, the vice president, and they all checked that piece that I did. How did he do it?
Yeah.
I didn't tell them.
Okay.
And they said, Ray Keogh's the guy that hired me. He says, Frank, you're hired. I says, am I taking the job from the other guy? His name was Jake. I said, am I taking this job? He says, no, he didn't know how to engrave. And we sent him to school.
Okay.
And when this kid, Jake, seen me work and leave no birds, he says, you know, Frank, I learned more from you than I did in school. I said, you want your job back? He said, no, it's yours. I said, as long as I don't take your job.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I stayed with them 25 years,
Okay.
being an engraver.
So when you moved out here, it was like nothing was out here because 50 years ago this was very, very small
farm.
population.
All
I think.
farm.
Yeah.
Well,
Why did you choose to come here?
I lived in Antioch. I got a cottage in Antioch, in Bluff Lake,
Okay.
on Bluff Lake. So we stay, Norma and I, when the company moved out here, and we lived in Chicago, I said to Norma, well, we can go live at the cottage, which we did.
And who's Norma?
Norma's my wife,
Okay.
late wife,
Okay. When did you guys get married?
1953.
Okay.
She's gone 38 years now.
Okay.
Anyway, when we came, the pipes froze on me at the cottage, so Norma said, we got to go looking for something, closer to work. Because it took me an hour to go from Antioch to come to Crystal Lake.
Right.
So anyway, Norma and I, was a nice day, and we went, so we seen the ad in the paper, rooms for rent. So we went looking for them. And we couldn't find them. How many times we came down Crystal Lake Avenue and over the bridge and over the lake was on this side, I said, Jesus, we've been there already, how many times? So anyway, when we came around the corner here, came down the street here, and there was a guy standing outside there, salesman. So we went up to him and we said to him, well, where can we find this address? He said, I never heard of it. And I said, you never did, huh? He said to me, what are you looking for? I said, well, we're looking for a place to live. He said, you're looking for a house? Well, if we find one. He said, well, this one's for sale.
That's pretty good.
This one is for sale.
So you bought it because we're here now.
Well, when he said that, I said to Norma, well, let's go look at it. Well, this was a model home.
Oh, wow.
It had a sidewalk all around here, here, and here, because this was all ground. The only thing that was here was the driveway.
Okay, all right.
And the garage. But everything was empty, but the stovetop and that was with the house.
Okay.
But it was a model home. It was a used house. But they told me it was a new house.
Okay.
So I says to Norma, how do you like it? She says, well, it ain't got no basement. I says, well, let's wait 6 months. Maybe we'll find one with it. 6 months came around, we were still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
No basement. I got crawl space.
Okay.
But
well, you obviously love this location and the house to
it was
make
closer to work.
Okay.
3 minutes. Got in the car, was at work. I had a good job. Worked Saturdays and Sundays. When they needed me, they asked me to come in on a Sunday.
Okay.
I said, you guys trust me? He said, we gave you the keys. And they did it. That was triple time.
This is good to know. So I know that this is we've told earlier on that you are 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to receive all of that wonderful outgoing feeling from the community? How they were celebrating your 100th birthday here?
It was a shock. I didn't know. This couple here is the one that surprised me. They're the ones that they're the ones that made it possible. I didn't know nothing, because when I was at their home, they had a birthday cake. We had coffee. We had cake. And then about 11:45, they said, "Oh, we gotta go, Frank." I said, well, you're the driver. You brought me here. So we got in the car and came down Crystal Lake Avenue, come to the corner here. And I says to Pat, what are all them flags doing there? She said, that's the surprise. I said, what surprise? She says, it's for your birthday, you're 100 years old, and 100 flags out there. No, I didn't believe it.
Well, I'm telling you, from the pictures that I've seen, it was a very big event.
It was, I know it was, and what can I say? I thanked them, and I still thanking them because they're so wonderful people, nice neighbors to know. And what else can I say about them? You know, I can't, they don't want nothing, they don't want no money, they don't want nothing. Well, what can I do?
Just enjoy the moment.
Well, I still do.
Good.
You know, with the
Good.
pictures in the paper and everything like that. It was still a shock. It still is, you know. When people talk to me about, oh, we seen your paper. I went to Savers, a store over here in Crystal Lake, and the girl says to me, oh, you were in the paper. I said, we seen your picture. Oh, Frank, oh,
Yeah.
and I've been going to Savers ever since.
This is good. This is
On a
good.
Monday,
Yeah.
because you get everything at half price.
Yeah. Well, this is good. I'm glad that you can still do all of that stuff.
Well, I try.
Okay. We're going to change gears a little bit here. We've been talking about your life and background and service and all of that. I'm going to switch to asking you a little bit more general questions.
Go ahead.
All right, because I know you've got answers to everything here. How, and this again, and I guess I called it this part of the interview.
You want me to say it in Polish?
Go right ahead.
Well, ask me the question.
I can't do it in Polish.
Well, then
No, but we need our audience to be able to hear what you're saying in English. So let's hold to English right
Okay.
now. All right. So this is a part of the interview I call our reflections part. So here's like question number one that I would like to ask you. How did your military service affect your life?
here I am. I'm glad that I did join the Navy. I'm glad I did.
Okay.
I tell everybody now, join the Navy. It's a good life.
I think you should be making a commercial.
Okay, next question.
What are some life lessons that you learned from your military service?
Life. Nothing that I know of. I've done everything I've done before that. I went in the service, and after I come out of the service, I still do it. So there's nothing
Okay.
life about that.
All right. And because you've got such a long life, this can go back over so many years. How has your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
No, Jim, what the hell? I hate wars. I would never suggest, you know, if you don't have to go, don't do it. But if you gotta go to war, you can do whatever you want. You want to join the Marines, you join the Marines, you know. I don't tell people what to do.
Okay.
You see that nameplate that you got on there?
Yes.
That's what I used to engrave.
Well, there you go. I don't think you did this one, but maybe I should ask you to do a special one for me.
I don't,
I know, you don't have the equipment now.
I haven't got the machine anymore.
Okay.
Babe, but I got a drawer over there. Later on when you go, and I'll open that drawer, and maybe you can pick one out as a souvenir.
Okay, all right. One of the other questions on reflections, what message would you like to leave for future generations who will hear this interview?
Join the Navy. That's all I can tell them.
I think that's a very clear and concise message.
Okay? That's about it. I can't tell them to do whatever. If they want to join the Marines, good. But it's the rougher, tougher than the Navy.
Okay, okay. So we're almost coming near the end of the whole interview, and you've done really remarkably well. And this is where I sort of open it up to you, because you've heard me ask you a lot of questions. Is there anything that you would like to say that maybe I didn't ask, or that you just want to share?
No, not that I know of. You're doing okay.
Well, now I feel good about that.
You know, there's nothing that I can ask you, you know.
Okay, all right. What would you like people to know or remember about what you've told everybody today?
How can I think? What couldn't I think of? Stay healthy.
Okay.
Don't drink, and don't smoke, and don't eat bacon. I haven't had bacon in 20 years already.
Okay. This is good.
And drinking, I haven't touched a drop. I got it.
Go ahead. Did you need? Be honest.
What did he say?
Here, he's saying be honest.
I am.
I know, we know that. We're not saying you're
I'm
not.
not lying.
But that's another thing to tell people in the,
Hey, when we get through here, I'm going to go in my bedroom there, in my foot locker, and I'm going to bring you that book and let you see. Then you could see what islands we were on and what we did.
Okay.
All right?
All right, sounds good. All right, I think we're getting almost literally at the very end now. I'm going to give you one more chance again. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up or say or talk about? Because I may not have asked you the right question.
Pat, remember you asked me questions? You wrote everything down, or was it Neil?
I think both of us, we were
Yeah.
asking it, yeah.
Well, maybe you can give it to him then.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, if like there could be children that would watch this, and what would be like the thing that you'd like to leave them with for the future?
I'll leave him $1.
Okay.
That's what I did.
All right.
That's what I did. I went to my uncle's. He was 100 years old too.
Okay.
Saturday,
Okay.
over at the White Eagle in Niles.
I know that place.
All
I've
right.
been there.
All right. New owners got that place.
Okay.
The owner that used to have it, his name was Shabua.
Sure, right. I remember that.
Well, do you know, I grew up with them people.
No?
I grew up with his wife.
Okay.
I grew up with it. I know the names of them all.
All right. This is good.
Alice was the one that was married to Shabua,
Okay.
to Andrew. Oh, there were two brothers, Andrew and Chester.
Okay. Okay.
But there were four girls and two boys in the Neats Point, Nick Pound family.
Okay. All right.
Louis and I went to school together,
Okay.
but I knew them.
All right.
In
Well,
fact, the guy asked me if I wanted to work for him. I told him too far for me to travel from here to Niles every day. You
okay.
know?
All right.
He said, I got a nice job for you, Frank. I said, I couldn't handle it, but thank you anyway.
Okay. Well, I think we're at the end. So I just want to say this concludes our interview of Frank Doroba, United States Navy, World War II veteran for the Veterans History Project. Thank you, Frank, for your participation in this Veterans History Interview Project. It means a lot to us as individuals and to the nation as a whole that your story of your military service will live on for future generations to reflect upon. Thank you so much for sharing with us your story of your military service. Thank you so much for your military service. It has been an honor and a privilege to be able to have conducted this interview with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Good job.